The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com, that's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. And when we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. And we help hundreds of advisors across the United States. We're like a broker's broker for life insurance people, annuity people, and people in that field. And we have accountants and attorneys that reach out to us all the time for advice on insurance planning. And we are specialists in life insurance, long-term care, disability, annuities, and life settlements. And we are general wholesalers for all 30 different insurance companies. We are not biased towards one company or another company. We're completely independent, and we want to give you the best financial solution for you, whether it's insurance product, if it's a legal situation, if it's accounting.3 we all mix in, and we all got to be on the same page. So if you don't have your team together, and I've sat with 3 or 4 different accountants this week who have sent me people that had some complex issues, whether it's they have a lot of real estate and they need to insure it and they want to use the insurance policy for different things. So anyhow, that's what we do on a daily basis. And if you don't have a team, we're happy to help you put one together to accommodate your needs in planning. And, this week was a crazy week. Some tremendous hurricanes in Jamaica and Haiti and Cuba. And we had a bad storm here on Long Island. And it just reminds me of preparedness. It's amazing when we have a snowstorm here on Long Island, how everybody rushes out to get snow shovels and snow blowers and this and that. And they wait until, okay, a storm is coming. Let's get prepared. Well, the people that seem to weather storms best are already prepared. They're already got their snow blowers, their snow shovels, their ice. They're like weeks, months, maybe even years ahead. They're all set. They're prepared. Preparedness is a huge deal. And when it comes to our own lives, are we prepared? That's what reminds me of all these storms and catastrophes. Is we just don't, people, are running, but they don't sit down and think about themselves, or they tend to procrastinate. It's a very bad situation. So yesterday, I had someone come to my office, really great guy, 70 years old. His wife is, in his 60s, and he was interested in long-term care insurance. And we went over all the different options and everything else. But it left me puzzled because at age 69, he already had spoken to somebody and gotten quotes and this and that, and he didn't pull the trigger or anything else. And he still hasn't, committed to doing anything. But what bothers me is if you wait, we just don't know, after the snowstorm hits, then you want to get coverage. This is what happens. People wait and they panic and they wonder why it's more expensive or it's cost prohibitive, or worst case scenario is, you know what? I'm going to wait. But things happen while you wait. So what happened in the last 4 years with COVID is a classic example of things happening. People got COVID, and even he said to me, I got COVID last month. I can't believe I got COVID again. And now I got this cough I can't get rid of, he said. And I can tell you hundreds of people that I know who it led to heart issues, it led to coffee. They were perfectly fine a year ago. And today they have issues. And today they're now asking me, hey, I want to get coverage for long-term care. I want to get coverage for life insurance. But all of a sudden, now they have a heart condition. It happens that quick. So when we talk about preparedness or sitting on the fence, it's probably the worst thing we could do is to wait. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. You cannot wait for things to happen before taking action. You have to take action and prepare. Because we just don't know. Listen, we don't know if we're going to have a storm tomorrow. We don't know if the market's going to crash tomorrow. We don't know. I saw something this morning about Meta, stock plummeting or something. These are the little headlines that flashed in front of me. I didn't even get a chance to read it. But, everybody's all excited about AI and the market's at an all-time high. And there's going to be a correction. There always is. You don't want to be caught with your pants down when there's a correction, and or there could be a correction in your health. It could happen in a day. It could happen in a week. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen today. When you're preparing, whether it's life insurance, long-term care, disability, and you're not prepared, you don't have your snow shovels, you don't have your stuff ready, the time to prepare is not the day before you have an incident. It's well before. So if you're sitting on the fence for years and years, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, maybe you should protect yourself today and get adequate coverage with life insurance, with long-term care, with all the things that we talk about every week, that you really need to sit down and plan. Okay? And it doesn't mean you need $1 million or $5. I talk to these financial advisors all. I'm only going to talk to them if they have $5 million. Well, not everybody has $5 million. Okay, I talk to anybody because everybody has needs. You can't be exclusive. I had another issue with a financial advisor yesterday. Not me, but the gentleman that walked in the door. Last year, his financial advisor says he shouldn't get long-term care insurance for himself because the odds are the men aren't going to use it as much as the women, but you should definitely buy one for your wife. And I said, you know what? I don't want to contradict people, but he's wrong. Stay in your zone. You're great with investments. That's wonderful. He's wrong. Let's say he advised this guy to self-insure, and the guy has a lot of money, okay? Let me tell you what happens when you self-insure for long-term care. As a man, I'm going to say this. Okay. Let's say I start having dementia, I have health problems, I can't do what I used to do, and let's face it, the odds are something's going to happen at some point, either mentally or physically, where I can't do everything that I could a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that all of a sudden I can't feed myself, I can't. So the natural reaction of people is, this is what people think. I'm telling you, this is the general, when people are sitting on the fence, what they think, well, my wife will take care of me. Well, isn't that wonderful? So now your wife is going to be a slave to you. Maybe won't leave the house. Maybe won't do the things that she needs to do to have a life, to take care of you because you felt it was too expensive to buy long-term care insurance, or you felt, well, I really don't need it. I really need it for her, for somebody to help take care of her. But who's going to take care of you? You're going to rely on your wife. Or, I have a lot of women, in their 50s and 60s, and they're really concerned. Oh, my daughter's going to take care of me. Great. Where's your daughter live? Oh, she's at college now. So she's going to interrupt her whole life to come home and live with you and take care of you and hold a job down and maybe possibly find a husband at the same time. Just think about it. Do you want your child to interrupt their life and their whole life to take care of you? Or would you rather have some sort of plan where you have a golden ticket that takes care of you, that you could have somebody come to your house, you could have somebody do your cleaning, you could have somebody work for you, okay, and help you get around and help you go grocery shopping and do what you need to do? That's what a long-term care coverage does. So, for those of you sitting on the fence, I don't care what age you are, you need to address this growing issue. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about it after the break, because it's a crisis, and you need to address it. You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. You want to reach out and discuss this with me or anything. I don't care if you're 20, 40, 40, 50, whatever age you are. Give me a call, 631-647-4694, or visit me at themainstreetcode.com. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. Before the break, we were talking about catastrophes, storms and this and that. And I like to talk about the storm in your life. And the biggest catastrophe that could possibly happen to you is needing some sort of long-term care coverage if you're older, disability if you're younger, where you can't perform the activities of your daily living, whether it's feeding yourself, cleaning the house, getting around, transporting. As we get older, it gets tougher and tougher. And one of the biggest ways we can prepare ourselves is by buying some sort of long-term care coverage that will cover those expenses that your Medicare insurance or your health insurance does not cover. So there's a lot of misconceptions. Who's going to cover me and my parents if they need care? Okay? Well, the number one caretaker in the United States today is the U.S. government. And that's the form of Medicaid. Not Medicare, Medicaid. Medicaid tells you in order to get it, you need to impoverish yourself or get rid of all your assets or a substantial amount of them, and then they will come in and help you with what we call long-term care. Now, Medicaid may or may not give you somebody to come to your house. Ultimately, you want to stay at the house. They may give you limited hours, maybe 1 day a week or 2 days a week. Maybe you need 3 or 4 or 5 days a week, and they can't come. The other biggest contributor to your long-term care is your family members. So you're going to reach out to your daughter or your son to come and take care of you. Or if you're a son or a daughter and you're concerned about your parents, are you going to quit your job and move to where your parents are to take care of them? Very disruptive, could interfere with your occupation, your ability to make a living, and possibly your ability to take care of your children and your parents at the same time. So it has multiple impacts. This is a catastrophe waiting to happen. It happens to over 70%. And if we're a married couple, over 85%, one person will need some sort of care. Think about that. You know this catastrophe is coming, yet you don't prepare. You know you're going to have a storm at some point, especially if you're healthy and you're going to live a long time. It's going to rain one day. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer or whatever you want to call it, but it is going to happen. Okay? It does rain. We do have storms. We do have catastrophes. We have physical things that happen. We have mental capacity. It just happens. Nothing is straight arrow up. The market is not a straight arrow. Our health is not a straight arrow. Our lives are not a straight arrow. There are always twists and turns. But you want to be prepared for them, and that's the message of today, is being prepared. How am I prepared for that catastrophe? So if you're putting off getting long-term care insurance, if you're putting off buying life insurance, please don't. You want to start when you're in your 20s. You want to start early. Preparing. Preparing is your plan B, your plan C, your plan D. Things happen. Every sports team in the world has a plan A, plan B, plan D. What do they call it? Next man up. Next man up. Well, guess what? When you're talking about yourself, there may not be a next man up. So how do you prepare for that? So we use a lot of insurance products to help you be the next man up or woman up, So very important. I'm going to talk to you about some people that did do some preparation. Let's talk about some good things that happened and some things I was working on this morning. So we had some great clients that in their 20s or 30s bought whole life insurance and have, saved a good bit of money. One gentleman this morning, he's 40, and he put away a couple $1,000s a year in a whole life policy. He now has like $40-something thousand in his life insurance policy. But he's now gotten married and has a kid. For the same amount of money he's paying for this whole life, we can take the savings he has in his whole life and put it in a different type of policy because his needs have changed, where he now has $500,000 of life insurance and he's paying the same thing. By using the money that he stored by his planning in his 20s, now in his 40s, now that he's married and has a child and a wife, and he now needs $500,000 of coverage, he's going to spend the same thing he's been spending in his 20s and now have double the coverage to take care of his family. That's planning. Because he started early. We have people that start early and for some reason they wanted to build this cash up as an extra retirement vehicle. By the way, life insurance is the most incredible retirement, flexible, liquid investment you can do. And yesterday I met with a real estate developer, and he's bought a policy for his daughter and his son, and he puts in like a lot of money, like $50,000 a year on each. But guess what? When he buys another property or invests in another property, he takes out the money from that and buys a property. No questions asked. He doesn't have to fill out an application, anything else. He puts this money away inside a life insurance policy. No taxation, no questions asked, no credit check. I need $50,000 to buy this property, to put my down payment. Calls up the life insurance company, gets the $50,000, puts it back later, buys another property. Sells that one, buys another one. Using the life insurance policy as his own bank. Be your own bank. Listen, when an opportunity comes up, you want to be liquid enough to be able to buy it. That's a great way of doing it. And guess what? If he doesn't want to pay it back for 6 months, it's okay. A little bit of interest. Doesn't have to pay the interest right away. There's nobody knocking on his door. You pay it back when you want to pay it back. As long as you build up cash in that policy, you can do that. And guess what? If something happens to you along the way, you have a death benefit. Okay? If you become disabled and you put a disability, what they call rider or extra to it, that contract can be paid for you. It's a beautiful thing. A wonderful thing to look at. Just incredible savings. The beautiful part about a life insurance contract, a whole life or universal life or an index universal life, you put that money away. You can put any amount you want. Okay? It's flexible on when you put the contributions and how much you put in. And you take the money out tax-free. You can borrow on it along the way. You don't have to wait till you're 59 and a half and have tax penalties. No 1099s ever. Unless you close out or something else. So no taxation, doesn't affect retirement, anything else. You could take out tax-free money. Doesn't count towards your other income or Social Security that you may be bringing in, which is a great tool later on that people don't realize. All of a sudden they retire and they think, okay, great. Now my Medicare Part B, instead of being $150 a year, is $600 a year because I'm taking out all this money from my retirement. That not only am I paying taxes on it, I'm paying extra premium for my health coverage after I'm retired. It's nuts because they haven't planned. They planned enough. They saved all this money in retirement. However, it's all taxable money. But if they saved it in life insurance or they did it in conjunction with that, they have tax-free money over here that they don't have to pay tax on. And it doesn't affect their Medicare Part B, which could be, from $190 a month to $600 a month. It's a big difference. $400 a month every month. Believe me, I know. So these are things that we consider when we're doing the planning. Plan for catastrophe. There's a lot of elements to that. Plan for a market downturn. How many people have done that? How many people are taking some money off the table and saying, hey, you know what? especially if you're nearing retirement or at retirement, and you've done very well in the market, you have to take some money off the table. Just like you were in a casino, if you don't take money off the table, you're going to put it all in, and boom, you lose it. So that's my message for today. What is it again? Preparedness. Thank you. You've been listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. If you'd like to get a hold of me and review your personal finances, or have any questions about anything you heard, please give me a call at 631-647-4694. If you miss an episode, you can go to themainstreetcode.com. I'm also on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. I'm sure you can reach out and find me, The Main Street Code. Thanks again. Have a wonderful weekend, and happy Halloween.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.